Hey, welcome back. Today we're looking at systems of equations. We're starting to talk about systems. So what systems are two or more related equations, meaning they have the same variables. And we're looking for solutions to these systems of equations. So what that means is that we're going to look for the point or points that make all the equations that we have true. So if we look at the example here, we have a system of equations that's y equals 6x plus 5 and 12x minus 2y equals 10. And it's asking which points are solutions. So for these ones, we're just going to go ahead and check. So we're going to check by substituting. So if they make both of the equations true, then we're going to have a solution. All right, so each of our points has an x and a y. We'll start plugging them in. So we'll plug the -1 and 8 into the top equation. So we have y is 8 equals 6 times -1 plus 5. We're going to simplify. So we have 8 equals -6 plus 5. And then we have 8 equals -1. We know this is not true, so we don't even have to check the second equation because we know it's not true. So the first one is not a solution. Okay, let's go ahead and check the second one. This time we have 0, 5. So we'll plug it back into the first equation again. So y is our 5 equals 6 times 0 plus 5. Well, we can see that this is going to come out to be true. 5 equals 6 times 0 is 0 plus 5 is 5. So this one checks out, but we have to make sure that it also checks out into the second equation. So we're going to substitute again. 12 times 0 is our x, minus 2 times 5 is our y, equals 10. So this is going to be 0 minus 2 times 5, so that's -10 equals 10. All right, this is not true, right? -10 is not equal to 10. So this one is also not true. Okay, remember, both of them have to be true when we substitute our values. Okay, for the third one, x is -4, y is -19. So let's substitute -19 equals 6 times -4 plus 5. This one looks like it'll work out because -4 plus, or -24 plus 5, excuse me, is equal to -19. So it checks out for the first one. Let's see if it checks out for the second one. So 12 times x is -4 minus 2 times y is -19 equals 10. Okay, so 12 times -4 is -48. -2 times -19 is +38. And then -48 plus 30. I'm wondering if I wrote this wrong. Maybe this should be a -10. Because then the last two would come out. Alright, so if it were -10, let's just go back. Then that one, the second one would be true. Also, -48 plus 38 is -10. This one would also be true. So these two are solutions. Then if our last number is -10, let me make some room here so we can do the last one. And this time we have 2 for our x and -3 for our y. So let's do -3 equals 6 times 2 plus 5. This one is not going to come out. -3 equals 12 plus 5. -3 is definitely not equal to 17, so this is not a solution. So yeah, I think I made a mistake. It should be -10 here. And if that's the case, then these two would be solutions because those points make both equations true. Okay, so nice and easy. It might take some time though, but we're just going to substitute and see if the equation is true. Okay, so solving using substitution. So this time they're giving us our equation. They're not giving us points. We're going to have to find the points that make our equations true. So one hint, if you're not given a specific method to solve, one thing we look for is if we have a variable that's equal to everything else, so just an x equals, a y equals, whatever variable you have, this is a good situation to use substitution. So what we're going to do is we know that x is equal to 3y plus 13. So into the other equation where we have our x, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute 3y plus 13. And the reason we do this is so that we end up with just one variable in our equation. And in this case, it'll just be the y's. So notice we just took our x, and in place of it, we placed 3y plus 13. And we can do that because we know that x is equal to 3y plus 13 from the second equation. Okay, so number one, substitute. And the hint here is we should have only one variable. Alright, so if we look at your equation now, we just have y's in our equation, so we know we're doing it correctly. Alright, step 2. We're going to simplify. So in this case, we can distribute our 3. So 3 times 3y is 9y. 3 times 13 is 39. And the rest of it is unchanged. Notice that we have our y's on the same side of our equation, so we can just add them. 9y plus 2y is 11y. And then the last step is we're going to go ahead and, oh, not the last step, I shouldn't say that. We're going to solve. Okay, so this is just a 2-step. We're going to subtract our 39. 6 minus 39 is negative 33. And then divide by 11. So negative 33 divided by 11 is negative 3. So we found one of the variables, and this is why I said we shouldn't say we're done yet, because we have to go back we're going to substitute back into one of the equations. To find the other variable. Okay, so whichever one looks easier to you. I think the bottom one looks easier, but it's your preference. So we are going to substitute our y, our negative 3, in for y into the second equation. So x equals 3, parentheses, because we're substituting the negative 3 for y. So we have negative 9 plus 13. So x is going to be 4. Okay, so our solution would be 4 is our x and negative 3 is our y. Okay, so it does take some work, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay, on to the next one. So same idea. This one, if you notice, it's both y equals, so we're going to solve this a little bit differently. The same idea applies though. I'm just going to take this y, which is equal to x, 8x. I'm going to substitute it for y there. So what we're going to have is 8x equals 2x plus 54 Okay, step 2 is simplify. We really don't have anything to simplify because the x's are on opposite sides. So we're just going to jump into the solving. We're going to move one of the x's over. So I'm taking my 2x and subtracting. That makes 0 there. 8x minus 2x is 6x. And then we just have 54 left on the right-hand side. Now we just got to divide by 6. So x equals 9. Remember, we're not done yet. We have to substitute our x back into our equation. So I think the bottom one definitely looks simpler than the top one. So we're going to say y equals, and we're substituting x, or 9 for x, because that's the variable we just found. So 8 times 9. So y is going to be 72. So our solution is 9 and 72. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It does take some time. Make sure that when you substitute, you just have one set of variables in there. And also remember at the very end to go back and find the second variable, right? Finding the first variable is good, but in order for us to complete the problem, we got to find both variables. All right, good job today. See you next time.